I've never had a cut through an A&R person or a producer or a manager. Every cut that I've had, and I've had probably about 20 of them, Maymax, has been by getting the song directly and specifically into the artist's hands.
Wow.
Because if they're a big artist, I mean, if they're a small artist, then the A&R person is picking the material and force-feeding it to them. If they're small, new artists, they don't have a lot of clout, they're being force-fed whatever they're cutting in the non-seasonal and in the Christmas realm. But if it's a big major artist like Anne Murray, I'm sure she picks all her own songs. Streisand picks all her own songs, And so I just try and get them, directly to the artist. And so it becomes you're part song publisher, you're part music guy, and you're part detective. And actually, it can be kind of fun tracking down home addresses around the world.
Do some of those Hollywood bus tours and, I don't know, maybe jump off the bus.
Well, just about. Not all of those are accurate. A lot of times, they'll tell you so-and-so lives in that house. Well, they haven't lived there for 10 years. The people on the bus want to see the house where so-and-so lives, and so they'll go, oh, well, it's that one. But, there's just a lot of databases. It takes a lot of time. Sometimes I can find, a home address in 20 minutes, and sometimes it'll take me 10 hours. But, I mean, and you cover the base multiple times. The woman, Susan Doyle, who was on Britain You've Got Talent or whatever her equivalent is over there.
Yeah.
I thought, boy, she's perfect for a Christmas album. Unfortunately, she didn't do one this year, but she should have. And I had CDs going to her to 6 different addresses in her hometown.
Is that right?
I covered every base I could find.
Wow, good detective work. That's cool.
Well, that's how I get my cuts, is I get it right into their hands.
That's a good lesson. So you're saying that the labels are saying, we just want to do standards. Is that they're just really happy to do the same old standards? Do they sometimes ask you for something else?
No.
No?
I mean, I have been doing this 15 years. They know I'm out here, but very rare that a label will call up and go, so-and-so on our label is going to do a Christmas album, would you send us some material? In fact, a lot of times I know a certain act on a label is doing a Christmas album. But see, I not only call the managers, I call a huge listing of over probably 150 A&R people. And I'll know that so-and-so on their label is doing a Christmas album. And I'll call them up and I'll go, hi, this is Justin, just checking in this year, see if you're doing any new Christmas projects. And usually their standard reply is, oh, no, not doing any. And I'll go, well, what about so-and-so? I thought she's doing one. And they go, how did you find out about that? It's actually, even when they know the projects are happening, they don't want submissions. I mean, managers will do that. They'll tell you, no, this act is not doing a Christmas album, even when I know that they're, that they are.
Even when it's come out on the tip sheet.
On the tip sheet or their website or,
their blog.
It's amazing. You can't push it too far, because you're basically calling them, you're lying to me. I know somebody's doing it on your label.
Yeah,
sure. But they will just keep it hush-hush. So you have to figure out ways around that. And it's very hard.
Sure. I often think that what you do as a music publisher is like mining for gold. What about the songs that you can't get enough of for your holiday catalogue? Can you describe some of these to die for songs, like, that gold nugget song title, that easy to place tempo or groove or approach to the subject?
Well, everybody in the industry always says send up-tempo positive. And that pretty much is the axiom. I mean, I'm loaded with ballads, but if somebody writes the next Wind Beneath My Wings, I'd be a fool to turn it down, But like I say, it's got to best the stuff I already have. But, I think right now, and give you some ideas, I mean, David Foster's My Grown-Up Christmas List was a ballad to die for. Mary Did You Know was a mid-tempo to die for. I would say the easiest things, what I would really love to get is, I don't know if you remember the Spice Girls, 5-10 years ago, did a new version of Sleigh Ride. Very up-tempo, a different syncopated beat, very similar to the beat of All I Want for Christmas Is You, the Mariah Carey thing, those kind of driving 60s retro things. Anything that would be very teen acts, you know, something that would be good for somebody like, well, Britney Spears is not a teen anymore, but, you know, what
Miley
she was doing
Cyrus.
5 years ago, Miley Cyrus, you know, all those kind of teen acts.
Jonas
those are very
Brothers.
placeable.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Jonas Brothers.
Well, there you have to look at the act and go, now, this song would be perfect for the Jonas Brothers, but even so, are they going to cut an outside song? When they know their Christmas album is going to sell 2 million units, they understand that if they put their song on it, in the U.S., the mechanical rate is 9.5 cents. So if they put their song on it, right there's another $190,000 of profit. Your song's going to have to be so monstrously better than anything that they could write. Not just twice as good, but, you know, try 5 or 10 times as good. Because, you see, if you're going after a new artist and your song is really great and they think, this could be the bandwagon that I ride up the charts, that it causes my career to explode. But if it's a major artist whose career is already exploding, they don't need you. They're looking at pennies, publishing pennies and songwriter pennies. And I hate to sound jaded, but when I first started doing this, I thought people were looking for the best songs they can find. I can't tell you how big a role the financial considerations play in the choice of material. You know, and if, again, they're looking at maximizing their take on every cut on every album. So to get them to bounce one of their songs. Now, if the Jonas Brothers, see, the problem is if they're doing a non-seasonal album, there's going to be 10 tracks on there they've got to come up with. They might not come up with 10 good non-seasonal songs, so there'll be a couple of 2 or 3 slots that maybe, you know, outsiders or songs that they didn't write can fill those slots. But in Christmas albums, if the label is requiring that, you know, 6, 7, 8 of those tracks be standards or PD, there's only going to be 2 or 3 open slots. If the artist is a songwriter, singer-songwriter, you can bet they're going to write all 3 of those. You know, and I have chased, I mean, there's artists who haven't done Christmas albums ever who I've chased for 10, 12, 15 years, you know, and when they finally do their album, I chased Anita Baker for 15 years. When she did her Christmas album, I think there were 4 originals on it, which she co-wrote with her producer. There was not an outside song on the project. And I go through that all the time. That's why, although I chase the name acts and try and figure out who they are and who's doing what, they're very few and far between, because it really is, you know, a singer-songwriter genre today, not an artist. So one thing you want to do, besides picking a great tempo and a great subject, you want to, and we'll get into the quality of material and songs and titles, but you also want to know who you're writing for. If you're writing a great song for an alternative act, your chances of getting that cut are practically nil, because they're going to write their own material, good, bad, or indifferent. Artist egos are so outrageously out of control, they really can't objectively judge the quality of their own material. And even if they can, and they know that their material is inferior to something else that came in, they're still going to cut their own anyway.
Sure.
So you want to be writing songs that would work great for people who are cover artists. Do you know who Vanessa Williams is? Vanessa Williams doesn't write. I think Faith Hill doesn't write. You don't want to be writing a great song that would be perfect for Brad Paisley, because no matter how perfect it is for Brad Paisley, he's got 24 of them that he wrote himself. So you want to try and make sure that you write in genres that are open to cutting outside material. So, you know, I might get a wonderful alternative song, but if it's real quirky, it's going to be hard to place, because or a rock song, you know, if you get a great pop rock song, that's okay, but if you get a really rock thing, how many rock bands and rock artists cut outside material? Very few. Now, one caveat I was going to say is, I might not be able to get those kind of songs that aren't done by cover artists cut by artists, but I can get them in film and TV.
Yeah.
So, you know, but film and TV is not going to turn you into a worldwide standard like White Christmas. That needs to be a record that gets repeated airplay on radio.